A 17-year-old high school student gets cornered by a gang of street thugs. Everyone thinks he'll be beaten to a pulp by these punks. But the outcome is completely unexpected. The student knocks down the muscular thug with just one punch. That punch knocks all the sense out of him. The thugs watching stand there in complete shock. Luckily, they have the numbers. If they can't take him one-on-one, they'll gang up on him. The moment that thought crosses their minds, the student rushes forward and lands a hit right in one guy's face. After taking a heavy blow, that thug's body flies into the air and flips 180 degrees. Even Don Miyongo, who claims to be Seok-Ho's successor, can't block the student's simple kick. Everyone who witnessed this fight says the same thing. This isn't a fight. It's the student brutally crushing the thugs in a one-sided beatdown. And because of this battle, the student becomes a legend. People give him the title of Urban Demon King. At only 17 years old, he built his own kingdom. The story gets interrupted by a boy at this point. He can't stand listening to this type of story. It's straight out of a novel. But from his friend's account, he learns that the legendary Demon King died in a car accident. His friend tells him this because the place he's about to go is very special. It's a school called Demon School. Students who can survive in the school are all fighting geniuses, and they only believe in one rule: strength above all. If you become a loser in the school, what awaits you will be worse than hell itself. Right now, I just got off the bus. Since it's getting late, I'm planning to stay at my uncle's house. At this moment, I hear someone whistling at me from behind. I turn around and see 3 street punks staring at me. The leader grins with amusement. Looks like he's found his fun for today. These 3 guys make me break out in a cold sweat. Are they going to rob me? 1 minute later, they knock me to the ground and surround me. The 3 of them rummage through my backpack, turning everything inside out and taking all the valuable electronics. Can't believe in this day and age, I'm actually getting robbed by a bunch of idiots. This is ridiculous. They decide to sell my tablet, but just one tablet isn't enough to satisfy them. The 3 want to squeeze more money out of me. If I can't satisfy them today, they'll strip off my pants and send photos to all my friends and family. Hearing their words makes my skin fall. Why does everyone in this neighborhood seem insane? While speaking, the fat guy already presses the record button. They assure me the video won't leak for now, but only if I pay them 500,001 in protection money every month. Hearing I have to pay them 500,001 every month, I'm shocked. The next moment, I immediately scramble up and run. My monthly allowance is only 10,001. Where am I supposed to get 500,001 for them? But the moment I turn around, I feel a sharp pain in my back. Turns out it's the guy in pink shorts who kicks me flying. My body falls heavily from the bridge. This impact is severe. I cough up a huge mouthful of blood. The 3 guys on the bridge watch me squirming like a worm and find it hilarious. They don't think they've gone too far at all. They even find it entertaining and plan to go down and torture me. They quickly turn around and walk down from the bridge. I know I'm no match for them, so the only thing I can do now is run. Just then, a shadowy figure catches my eye up ahead. That shadow appears especially clear under the streetlight, like I found a lifeline. I frantically shout at him. Hey mister, can you help me? But the man acts like he's deaf and completely ignores me. His indifference makes me terrified, and I can't help but shout, hey, I'm talking to you. Can you even hear me? Can you please save me? The man seems to lag. Several seconds after I finish speaking, he slowly turns his head. He points at himself uncertainly. Are you talking to me? In my heart, I think he might be an idiot, but I don't dare say that out loud. After all, right now he's my only hope. Please come help me. The man's lips seem to curl into a smile. I can tell he's excited. He speaks. After waiting all these years, someone can finally see me. After seeing his appearance, I'm completely stunned. Is this a person or a ghost? Right at this moment, the thugs also walk down. For a moment, I panic and don't know what to do. Before I can react, the man's body already rushes toward me. He says if I want his help, it's not impossible, but I have to make a deal with him. After I agree, I fall into complete darkness. But soon, my consciousness can see my own body below, though someone else is now in control. 2 thugs look at me like I'm an idiot. What's he mumbling to himself about? Did he hit his head too hard? Another guy comes up behind me with his phone. Even if you act crazy today, it won't help. We're getting all the footage we need. My body quickly turns around and grabs his mouth. My foot snaps out, striking his ankle. With only 2 moves, my body sends him crashing headfirst to the ground. The effortless flow is like watching a battle-tested demon king in action. The man who got knocked down curses angrily, but the moment he lifts his head, my powerful kick is already coming. This thug is completely terrified and begs me to stop. I smile slightly, showing white teeth. Don't chicken out now. Humans don't die that easily. In the next instant, his face meets the brutal force of my kick. The force of this kick sends that thug flying 10 meters away. The remaining 2 thugs look at their fallen leader, then turn to look at me. They know they've picked a fight with the wrong guy today. My voice speaks slowly. You guys must be students from Demon School, right? While speaking, my hands comb my hair back. You guys go tell those bastards at Demon School that the Demon King Seok-Ho has returned. At the same time, I watch the scene below from midair in disbelief. Standing below is a figure I know all too well, but I don't understand what's going on. Also, my current form feels weightless and ghostly, like I'm just a soul. The 2 thugs see their leader get beaten and immediately rush forward. This makes me feel worried, and I shout for my body to get out of here quickly. But the result is once again beyond my expectations. The 2 thugs are no match for my body at all. Just one punch caves in that muscular guy's cheek. I'm completely stunned by the scene. What's the background of this man who entered my body? How can he be this skilled? Watching my body fight like a war god below, I finally realize the truth. I must be dreaming. I must be dreaming right now. Otherwise, how could I be this amazing and easily defeat these opponents? Even though I'm dreaming, this thrilling rush makes my adrenaline surge. The body below takes only 1 minute to knock down all 3 people. After dealing with the thugs, he finally speaks to me. I took care of these 3. Are you satisfied? Time flies, and it's the next morning. I'm lying on the bed at my uncle's house. Just as I'm about to push myself up with my hands, a sharp pain shoots through me. Looking closely, I discover my hand is swollen like a sandbag. This piercing pain makes me want to die. My hand has never hurt this much before, but what happens next shocks me speechless. I see a man actually floating in midair above my bed. The pain in my hand is sharp and undeniable. This pain sends me a message. Last night wasn't a dream at all. At this moment, I notice the man is wearing a school uniform. When I see the name on the uniform, I'm shocked, speechless. Can't believe something this absurd is actually happening to me. Turns out this man in front of me is the Demon King Seok-Ho, my friend told me about on the phone yesterday. Time goes back a few years. Back then, Seok-Ho, who had become the urban Demon King, was extremely arrogant, and thought he would forever be the strongest in this city. Then, while driving, he lost focus, and crashed straight into a power pole. The moment the vehicle collided, it exploded. And so, the urban Demon King Seok-Ho died in that car accident. But strangely, although his body stopped breathing, his soul remained unusually active. Since then, Seok-Ho has been wandering the city. During this time, no one has been able to hear his voice, and he can't make contact with anyone. He's become a lonely wandering ghost. He thought he would wander like this forever, but last night he met me. After hearing his story, I sum it up in one sentence: he's a ghost. Although Seok-Ho feels uncomfortable, he can't really argue with that. I feel helpless about this ghost. I wish he would stop following me around. But the problem is, this ghost only knows me, and only I can see him, so he can only follow me. Moments later, he follows me to the school called Demon School. But over the years, Demon School has been renamed Bunchen High School, but Seok-Ho doesn't care. Even though they changed the name, the style inside definitely hasn't changed. This is still Demon School. I don't want to argue with him. I thank you for yesterday, but today you need to leave. But it's easier to invite trouble than to get rid of it. Seok-Ho's words make my anxious heart sink completely. Seok-Ho's idea is simple. He's an incredibly skilled fighter, but has no body to use his abilities. I just happen to have a body I can lend him, so he wants to invite me to do great things together. He also tells me about his time as the urban Demon King, which was glorious beyond compare. If I team up with him, it won't take long for me to reach that level too. I stare blankly at him. What are you talking about? I directly refuse his proposal. I just want to attend a normal high school and find an ordinary job after graduation. I have zero interest in being some demon king. The behavior of those lunatics yesterday is still vivid in my mind. I don't want to deal with people like that, so I can't achieve what Seok-Ho describes, and I have no intention of teaming up with him. I tell him to find someone else to help. After hearing my words, Seok-Ho looks confused. Are you misunderstanding something? I'm not asking you for a favor. Then Seok-Ho's aura suddenly changes, and he speaks to me in an almost threatening tone. If you agree to my proposal, you can live. But if I don't accept his proposal, he'll forcibly take over my body. As soon as he finishes speaking, his large hand grabs my throat. He chokes me until I almost suffocate. Can't believe I just survived those thugs last night, and today, this bad guy wants to steal my body. My strong resistance bursts out from within me. It directly pushes Seok-Ho's hand away. Seok-Ho is confused, but quickly realizes that forcing it won't work. Only after that idiot agrees can Seok-Ho use his body. Understanding this, Seok-Ho immediately changes his attitude. When did I say I'd steal your body? I'm just borrowing it for a bit. But at this moment, I don't believe a word he says. Seok-Ho's eyes earlier already betrayed him. I angrily lift my head and shout at him. You bad guy, disappear from my sight right now. But when I come to my senses, standing in front of me isn't Seok-Ho, but a pretty girl. This is so awkward. I just want the ground to swallow me up. To prevent the girl from misunderstanding, I start rambling. That wasn't meant for you. I was talking to the ghost right here. The girl lets out a cold laugh and walks away. She seems to just think I'm a lunatic. Watching the direction she goes, I realize this is a co-ed school. But when I recall the girl's face in my mind, my cheeks can't help but turn red. I tell Seok-Ho to get lost. I want nothing to do with anything. But when I turn around, I discover he's already gone. This makes me breathe a long sigh of relief. Without this ghost pestering me, I'll be much more relaxed. Soon, I arrive at the classroom and get a self-introduction. After the introduction, the teacher assigns me a seat in the very back. This makes my heart uneasy because everyone is staring at me, muttering amongst themselves. It makes me feel awkward, like I can't fit into this class. I decide not to dwell on it. Now that I'm here, I might as well focus on my studies. Just then, a hand gently taps my shoulder. I turn around, and there's a guy with wild blonde hair and glasses next to me. He tells me today just happens to be this row's turn for cleaning duty. After the bell rings, he takes me around the school and explains some of the cleaning duties. You're responsible for keeping your assigned area clean. Otherwise, the whole class could lose points. I curse my luck under my breath, getting stuck with cleaning duty on my very first day. Jubin speaks slowly. You're called Jinhu, right? Why did you transfer to the school? I tell him it's because my parents suddenly moved to the city, so I transferred here too. Since nearby schools were all full and only Bunchen High School had openings, I came here. Before I finish speaking, Bon interrupts. This isn't Bunchen High School. It's Demon School. In this neighborhood, no one calls it Bunchen High School because this place is full of delinquents. Students who come to this high school all have one goal, to be the baddest in the nation and the strongest in the world. Simply put, you can think of this high school as the troublemakers among prestigious schools. I don't quite understand what that means and want him to explain it. But before I can speak, I take a heavy punch right to the face. I didn't expect Bon's thin frame could send my body flying. This really pisses me off. Why did you suddenly hit me? But the next moment, I'm stunned. The noise around me seems to get closer. Everyone's eyes are on me. What makes all the students curious is, there's actually a transfer student coming to the school today. Now, that's something to talk about. In just 2.5 minutes, students are leaning out of every window, looking in my direction. and all the students simultaneously burst into cheers. Because in this school, there's an unwritten rule. All new students must face a baptism by duel. This sudden situation makes me panic. At this moment, Bon slowly walks toward me. In this school called Demon School, everything is decided by fists. As he speaks, he tosses his wristbands onto my head. Then Bon takes off his glasses. The next second, Bon's actions shock me on the spot. Bon pulls up his sleeves, revealing his solid, taut, muscular body with intimidating tattoos on both arms. Bon waves at me, signaling me to stand up. You in freshman class 4, our duel is about to begin. I look at my classmates in confusion. Isn't there a single person who wants to break this up? Even the teacher standing on the second floor closes the window after seeing this. I didn't expect even the teacher can intervene in this matter. At this moment, a man in a floral shirt shouts loudly. All students who want to place bets, come here. The reason students are so enthusiastic about the freshman welcome ceremony is because they can place bets. Soon, someone bets 50,001 on the transfer student winning. I really didn't expect students would do something like this at school, and then Bon is already lunging at me. He grabs my collar in one swift motion, then punches come at me like a storm. I tell him to stop hitting me. Whatever it is, we can talk it out. But Bon doesn't listen to me at all. From now on, you're the cleaning person for this area. Bon's punches are so fast that my eyes can't even see ahead. But when I turn my head, I discover Seok-Ho has appeared behind me at some point. He says at this range, you should be throwing punches, not taking them. Just grab his waist and take him down. He tells me to do it quickly, or I'll be knocked down soon. Hearing his words, I can't think about anything else. I quickly move closer to Bon and grab his waist. Then, with a fierce slam, I throw Bon heavily to the ground. A wave of noise sweeps through the crowd. Bon panics, yelling for me to let go. Seok-Ho behind me seems very anxious. You can't just pin him down. Flip him over. You idiot, you're driving me crazy. Seok-Ho continues, you idiot. Why don't you just let me take over? That way I can deal with this small fry for you. But I don't dare casually lend him my body. What if I can't get it back? My hair accidentally gets grabbed by Bon. After seeing this, Seok-Ho's expression freezes. If he's got you in that position, you're in big trouble. With a loud thud, Bon's head slams heavily into my face. The pain in my nose makes me want to cover it. I didn't expect Bon's attacks to keep coming. He shouts almost maniacally, what a pleasure to meet you. Once I beat you, this area's cleaning duty will be yours. While speaking, he keeps hitting my stomach. Actually, Bon is a pitiful person too. Before I came to the school, he was the one being bullied. Every day he had to clean trash, enduring classmates' mockery. These days have been very frustrating for him, but now it's different. With my arrival, he's ready to pass the baton to me. Bon beats me until blood flows from my mouth and nose. Meanwhile, the students watching seem used to it. I feel like this school has definitely gone insane. These students only care about the outcome of the duel. They don't care whether I live or die. I don't understand why this is happening to me. Bon's heavy punch falls again, hitting my face hard. This punch sends my body flying dozens of meters. As I hit the ground, a wave of cheers erupts from the crowd. I'm left lying on the ground, completely motionless. At this point, Seok-Ho starts teaching me truths about the world. Don't you know the reason yet, you idiot? In this school called Demon School, if you have no power, all you can do is get beaten. That's the harsh reality. Might make right. But Seok-Ho thinks I'm lucky because I met someone who was once the Demon King of Demon School. As long as I give Seok-Ho control of my body, he can easily deal with those small fries. So Seok-Ho proposes to make a deal with me again. This deal is for me to share one body with him. It's a mutually beneficial transaction. However, this time I don't rush to refuse Seok-Ho's proposal. Instead, I glance at Bon celebrating nearby. Bon turns his head and sees me shakily standing up. This makes his eyes show surprise. You actually didn't stay down. Bon is very angry. Looks like you can take a beating. With that, his footsteps quickly approach me. Then he shouts, just stay down. No matter how much you struggle, it's meaningless. Little does he know, I'm already different now because I agreed to Seok-Ho's proposal and decided to give him control of my body. At the same time, Bon's fist is already at my face. He breaks into a frenzied grin. The fight is decided. But in the next moment, his expression suddenly changes because his attack is caught by my single hand. My angry eyes stare straight at him. What are you babbling about? Seeing something seems off, Bon immediately pulls back. He feels strange inside. Why does this person's aura seem so different? At this moment, my body has been taken over by the Demon King Ma Seok-Ho. Seok-Ho spits out blood, feeling sore all over. Even his mouth is split open. But even so, Seok-Ho feels incredibly pleased. Everyone present feels the atmosphere is incredibly strange after seeing this scene. Seok-Ho's eyes look at Bon. He's thinking about something. Right now, he can't do without someone to work for him. Although he could convince those punks from yesterday, he doesn't like people like that. Instead, this Bon catches Seok-Ho's attention. Resilient young people like this are rare, so Seok-Ho makes a decision to make Bon his follower number 1. This scene makes all the classmates burst into laughter. Bon, however, is furious beyond words. You wanna die? He snarls. In Bon's eyes, someone he just beat up for so long has no right to judge him. Facing Bon's attack, Seok-Ho just chuckles. Next, Seok-Ho raises his right fist and with a bang, hits him in the face. Then, Seok-Ho's left fist, loaded with power, crashes hard into his stomach. Finally, Seok-Ho delivers an uppercut. This 3-punch combo is enough to give Bon a hard time. Bon coughs up blood. He doesn't understand why he lost to me. Even the classmates watching are stunned. They didn't expect this new student to be this strong. Bon is sent flying by Seok-Ho's heavy punch. Then he quickly gets up. His eyes show no fear, just bewilderment. But even that fuels his will to fight. But if he knew this was his idol, the Demon King Ma Seok-Ho, his expression would be priceless. Seok-Ho gives him a brilliant smile. The duel ends here. Just be my follower obediently. Then Seok-Ho quickly throws a punch. The force of this punch almost flattens Bon's face. When he removes his hand, there's a deep fist imprint on Bon's face. Then, my body trembles slightly, and I'm back in control. My face is full of confusion. I didn't expect Seok-Ho to solve today's problem the moment he took over. What greets me next is enthusiastic cheering. 17-year-old Jinhoo's record on his first day, 1 fight, 1 win. At this moment, Seok-Ho floating above speaks slowly. You better toughen up that weak body of yours, or fighting will really hurt. After he says this, I notice a pain coming from my right hand. Looking up at my arm, I discover my right arm is actually fractured. Then I fall to my knees, shaking my hand continuously, wondering if it will ever recover. Little do I know, someone on the 3rd floor is watching me. The man shows an excited smile. How interesting. This little guy can really fight. After discovering the fracture, I immediately head to Bunchen Hospital for treatment. Fortunately, my injury isn't serious. It's just a simple fracture. But this still makes me feel the danger. Seok-Ho keeps mocking me. Your hand breaks from hitting someone. That's ridiculous. Who's as weak as you? But anyway, Seok-Ho feels he helped me, so now it's my turn to help him. Although I'm reluctant to admit it, I did ask him to help me beat up Bond. So, under Seok-Ho's lead, I follow him aimlessly. After walking for a while, Seok-Ho points to a bed in an intensive care unit. Seok-Ho speaks. This is my room. When I see the person lying in the room, I'm incredibly shocked. The man on that hospital bed looks exactly like Ma Seok-Ho. Seok-Ho's body is lying on the hospital bed, receiving nutrients through and forth. I'm curious. I heard from my friend, he died in a car accident. Why is your body still here? Seok-Ho himself isn't quite sure about this. All he knows is that his soul separated from his body, and his body became a living corpse. After 10 minutes, Seok-Ho tells me all the clues he's gathered. Now, Seok-Ho knows the enemy is in the school, so what I need to do is help him find the culprit. I stare at Seok-Ho in disbelief. Then, without saying much, I pull out my phone to search for information. The information is about how to withdraw from school. Koho's expression changes. Didn't you say you'd help me? Why are you trying to withdraw now? His words make my body tremble. I can still tell which is more important, my life or a favor. If I go back to that school, I'll definitely die. Everyone there is insane. Hearing this, veins bulge at Koho's temples. He's really angry. But I think that kind of thing is too terrifying. I'm just an ordinary high school student. I'm not tough like you. I don't want any part of that. I just want a normal life. After hearing my words, Seok-Ho sneers. When I dominated the city and became the Demon King, I was only 17. But since you're unwilling, whatever. But likewise, I'll do whatever I want, just like you. With a pat, I feel a large hand pressing on my back. Seok-Ho threatens me. He'll stick with me 24 hours a day. From the moment I open my eyes in the morning to when I close them at night, eating, sleeping, getting dressed. Every moment he'll be with me. He won't even leave me alone in the bathroom. Seok-Ho has made up his mind. If I don't help him get revenge, he'll stick to me forever. I have to say, Seok-Ho's threat is very effective. Seok-Ho says he'll stick with me for the next 10 or 20 years, until my very last breath. I'm scared, stiff, cold sweat pouring down my face. An hour later, we return to Bunchen High School. Seok-Ho reminds me again. A man keeps his word. No taking it back. As long as I help him get revenge, he'll leave me. After saying this, he disappears. With a thud, I drop to my knees. I'm done for. And I still have to go to that damn school. But thinking about it now won't help. Better hurry to the cafeteria for food. After arriving at the cafeteria, I'm amazed to discover there's so much delicious food I've never eaten before. These premium ingredients make my mouth water. First time I've heard of a school buffet. Today, I'm definitely treating myself. Just as I'm about to push the door open, someone calls out to me. I glance back. I discover the person who called me is Bon, whom I beat up this morning. He says this place isn't where we should go. 10 minutes later, under Bon's guidance, I get some food. But this food has a strange taste. The rice seems spoiled. This makes me so angry, I fling the tray away. This is garbage. Even animals wouldn't eat it. Bon tells me this is the cafeteria meal. As for the delicious food I saw earlier, that's for the strong. Because in this school, meals aren't just eaten, they're earned. Grade and age mean nothing. The color of the badge on everyone's chest is a status symbol. Only people with green badges or higher can eat that kind of food. I curse under my breath. It's the same money. This makes no sense. What lunatic made this rule? Little do I know, the person who made this rule is Ma Seok-Ho. After Seok-Ho became the king of Demon School, he established some absurd school rules. Fighting is the standard for all judgment. And so this school naturally became hell, and the mastermind behind it all is Ma Seok-Ho. After hearing Bon's account, I look at Seok-Ho angrily. So you're responsible for all this. At this moment, after hesitating repeatedly, Bon speaks again. He tells me he's sorry about earlier, but there was no other way, because he just wants to survive here. But Bon doesn't think he lost. Those 3 punches might have just been lucky hits. If we fight again, who knows who would win? I glance at Bon's exposed arm. If I'm not mistaken, Bon's tattoos seem to have faded a lot. This makes him feel embarrassed. They're not real tattoos, just temporary stickers he bought at a street stall. He bought these tattoo stickers to boost his courage. They make him feel more intimidating when fighting. Spending time with Bond, I feel like he's not as bad as I imagined. I think he's still a weirdo. At this moment, a man suddenly appears behind us. This scares us. When did this guy get near us? We didn't notice at all. The man bursts into laughter. You guys are absolutely awesome. Just yesterday, you were fighting to the death, and today you're sitting together having a meal. Now that's what I call real men. He crouches beside Blondie and mutters, Jew Bond, what a shame. You were off to such a great start. Bond lets out a hearty laugh. I'd say I'm pretty impressive, right? The next second, a fist slams hard into Bond's cheek. You bastard. Didn't you lose the match? Do you have any idea how much money you cost me? I don't quite understand what's happening. Why did this guy suddenly start hitting Bond? Even Bond seems confused and lost. After hitting Bond, he orders him to return to his original position, to take another beating. Bond hesitantly returns to his spot. Smack. Jang Sung steps up and slaps him across the face. I'm curious why Bond doesn't fight back. Just like that, Bon repeatedly returns to his position to take the beating. The brutal force sends Bon's eyes rolling. The only reason Sung beat Bon was for losing the fight to me, or, more to the point, for losing him a lot of money. Naturally, Sung blames everything on Bon. Bon continues to apologize. I'm sorry, class president. When I get money, I'll compensate you. Hearing the word compensate, Sung mood improves somewhat. Then Sung comes over to me, throws his arm around my shoulder. Transfer student, great to meet you. I feel a bit nervous. If he's the class president, then, following the rules set by Seok-Ho, he reigns as the strongest in the freshman class. The badge on his chest is red. Sung asked me to go with him to the school store and show me around campus. While talking to me, he doesn't even glance at Bon. Losers aren't worth his attention. Before leaving, I glance at Bon. That lonely figure makes me feel sorry for him. At the store, he makes small talk with me. When he learns I've had no professional training or combat practice, his face shows pure shock. I tell him I'm not joking. I've never even been in a fight before. Sung feels like he struck gold today. You pulled off those combos. Are you some kind of genius? Moments later, we've grabbed a huge pile of snacks, totaling 24,501. Looking at this mountain of snacks, I think it's so expensive. At least 3 times more than outside stores. Then Sung turns to me. Why are you standing there? Hurry up and pay. Don't tell me you expect me to pay. I'm stunned. I only have 30,0001 on me. How am I supposed to survive the month if I pay for this? But seeing Sing Tai's sinister smile, I don't dare refuse. Just as I suspected, this guy brought me here with bad intentions. What a greedy bastard. I put my hand in my pocket, ready to pull out money to pay. I slowly reached out my hand, thinking, let's just pay and leave. But my palm doesn't feel any bills. I look up and realize my fingers are making a middle finger gesture. This is a bit awkward. I have no idea why I made this gesture. I look at my fingers again and realize my entire arm isn't under my control. At this moment, Seok-Ho slowly appears behind me. If you're broke, just eat this. Why even bother buying this crap? Then Seok-Ho glares at me with disappointment. Can you really not see this, or are you pretending? He's testing you by demanding whatever he wants. What you need to do now is fight back, but I'm not listening at all. I just hope this class president won't cause me trouble, because just from his stance, this class president gives me the feeling that if we fought, I'd stand no chance. Just as I expected, the class president's face darkens completely, but just as suddenly, he bursts out laughing. As if to break the tension. You're something else, kid. All guts and attitude, not what I expected at all. Just messing with you. I didn't expect it. Just as Seok-Ho said, he was only testing me. Then the class president hands me a yellow badge. I can't believe it. On my second day of school, my status has already risen, jumping straight from colorless to yellow grade. Apparently, evaluating transfer students is one of the class president's duties. From now on, I'm an official member of Demon School. The class president welcomes me warmly. The class president also says he really likes my personality. I don't understand what this means. Does he actually like me, or does he have ulterior motives? Gradually, classmates start noticing me. Not only that, some people quietly distance themselves from me. Originally, I sat in the corner of the classroom, but now I can joke around with the class president. My status is inevitably raised along with it. This makes me feel pretty good. If it's like this, it's enough. At least I won't be bullied. I think to myself, let's just keep going like this. Best to quietly graduate from the school without trouble. But as soon as I enter the classroom, I notice something unusual. What catches my eye is a huge insect. I glance and see someone recording with their phone. Not far ahead, Bon is holding a plate of what's labeled insects. Several bullies are recording this, ready to post it online to show off. Turns out these two also bet on Bon and lost badly. So they're preparing to live stream and create an insect-eating broadcast. Sung thinks they're crazy, but he thinks this idea is brilliant. Why didn't he think of it before? So Sung grabs Bon's face. He warns Bon to fall in line and hand over the live stream profits. Everyone gets an equal cut. If not, he'll make him regret it. Naturally, Bon doesn't want this humiliation and keeps his mouth shut tight. Sung seems to think of something and looks at me. Then he tosses the insect into my hand, telling me to feed it to Bon. This mukbang idea is really original. That's why I'm bringing you on board. This terrifies me. I have zero interest in this kind of thing. Seok-Ho, floating in midair, tells me to hurry up and feed it to him. He says if I don't do it, I'll become their next target. At this moment, those two bullies are already prying Bon's mouth open. If I just stuff this insect into Bon's mouth, I won't have any trouble today. Seok-Ho keeps saying, just feed it to him. It's edible. And insects contain protein, don't they? I stare at the insect for a long while. I feel like doing this isn't right, but if I don't, the class president will bully me. So under the class president's expectant gaze, I slam the insect in my hand onto the floor. My action infuriates the class president, but he holds back his rage. What are you doing? I lower my head and say, this behavior is really wrong. Let's stop, because games like this that even kids wouldn't play are incredibly boring. The class president stares at me and laughs loudly. You really are someone with ideas. Sung doesn't see what he did as going too far. In his eyes, I'm the one who overstepped. As soon as he finishes speaking, a loud slap strikes my face hard, sending my body flying. Though you've got ideas, you're no fun at all. How disappointing. With that, the class president's fists rained down on my face. There's a reason the class president is so angry. I did the one thing he hates most, unrealistic idealism. What he hates most are moral principles, because those things limit what they can do. As he speaks, his hand rises again. This time, his strikes come much faster. In just 5 seconds, he delivers 18 slaps. In this school, without strength, you can only get beaten. That's reality. Listening to the class president's words, this sounds familiar. Thinking carefully, I remember. Seok-Ho said these exact words. Earlier, Seok-Ho told me at the hospital that in this world, having no power means getting beaten. That's reality. It seems they really think alike. Even their tone and meaning are similar. Sung grabs my collar. Before coming to the school, didn't you understand survival of the fittest? I gasped for breath. It seems I really need to abandon my naive ideas. Whether it's Seok-Ho or Seok-Ho, what they say is reality. At the same time, the class president seems to sense something's wrong. This guy's aura seems to have changed. I grab the class president's hand. You're right. In this school, it's definitely survival of the fittest. Bang. My head slams hard into his nose. This unexpected headbutt makes blood pour from Seok-Ho's mouth and nose. This scene shocks everyone. They can't believe someone actually dared to hit such a powerful class president. Thud. The class president's body falls. I calmly straighten my collar. A small fry with just a red badge dares to act arrogant in front of me. Urban Demon King Ma Seok-Ho officially takes control. Seok-Ho looks at me floating in the air. Next time, don't let others beat you down before calling me in. However, my next words surprise Seok-Ho. This time, I have a different idea. Besides beating up those bullies in the classroom, and the school badge on my collar, I want you to destroy all of this, Seok-Ho. This startles Seok-Ho. He doesn't quite understand what this means. Previously, Seok-Ho and I discussed a deal. Seok-Ho planned to use my body to complete his revenge. Now I've agreed. I'll help him find whoever framed him. And what Seok-Ho needs to do is personally destroy the school rules he created. If Seok-Ho refuses, I'll immediately drop out and leave the city. Seok-Ho is stunned by the idea. Destroying Demon School would require tremendous strength, but with this weakling body, how could we possibly destroy Demon School? So he tells me to stop dreaming. This pathetic body can fracture its own hand just from fighting. Hearing that, I snap. If you have so little confidence, then let's go our separate ways. While we're talking, two figures rush forward. Seok-Ho doesn't even bother looking at them, just a bunch of nobodies. He quickly turns and kicks the man in red in the groin. The man's expression freezes, and tears stream down his face. You little punks, I'm not finished talking yet, and you charge in. How rude. Then Seok-Ho clenches his fist slightly. A charged punch sends the man in red flying straight back. This punch packs serious power. The man's body flies back 10 meters. In this gap, another person lifts a stool, ready to smash it down. Seok-Ho sidesteps, dodging the attack, and his knee is already at the man's front. Thwack. His knee strikes hard into the man's groin. All the students present are stunned. The second and third ranked fighters of Class 4 are being dominated by him, and both of them have yellow badges. But now they're writhing on the ground in pain. This time, Seok-Ho readily agrees to my proposal. Seok-Ho came for revenge. I came to stand up for what's right, so why not work together? At this moment, Seok-Ho shouts loudly, "From now on, I'm going to crush this demon school." Suddenly, applause sounds from the crowd. Everyone present looks in that direction. Even Seok-Ho has the same expression. He was being completely serious, not joking. How could someone be clapping? Turning around, it's the class president clapping, while laughing uncontrollably. Then he brings his legs together and does a kip up. With a slight effort of his arms, he lifts himself up. It seems Seok-Ho's earlier attack didn't cause him much damage. The class president's footsteps slowly approach Seok-Ho. Very good. You've completely pissed me off, punk. Do you have a death wish? This scene in the classroom immediately excites the students in the hallway. Looks like there's entertainment today. Many students just realize it's the guy who won the freshman welcome match challenging again. Soon, many students gather at the door to watch. Some even eagerly clear space for them to duel. They move all the students' desks and chairs to the side. Soon, a simple arena is created. These students are selecting the strongest fighter of the grade. Whoosh! A folding fan quickly opens. The man in the floral shirt also arrives. Today's bets are handled by him. Students can place their bets with him. The next moment, Seok-Ho holds up 5 fingers, meaning he's betting 500,001. Such confidence. Seok-Ho is betting this much money on himself to win. However, he doesn't have money right now, so he has to bet on credit. After all, he's certain to win. The chubby guy is helpless. Why do you do this every time? You've already overdrafted a lot of money, you know. Seok-Ho doesn't care. He does owe the guy quite a bit, but this time he'll pay him back with huge returns. For Seok-Ho, this duel is easy money. The cost is just a little workout. The 2 lackeys behind him keep cheering for Seok-Ho. Class president crush him, smash his remaining arm to pieces. Even Bon, who was bullied by the class president earlier, cheers for him, seemingly not caring at all that he was beaten. Seok-Ho looks at me with amusement. You're really alone. No one's cheering for you. I tell him to take the match seriously. Don't forget, this is a deal. Keep your promise. If you win and destroy the school, I'll help you get revenge. But if you lose, we go our separate ways. If he really loses, then this contract becomes void, and I'll leave the city. Seok-Ho scoffs. Damn it. This is what your smart brain came up with. You really are useless trash. Then Seok-Ho slowly steps forward. Today, he'll show me what a real demon king is. Seok-Ho stands face to face with the class president, eyes locked, fighting spirit rising. His aura doesn't lose to the class president at all. Seok-Ho narrows his eyes. Destroy demon school. You're really mouthing off, punk. Seok-Ho gives a low chuckle. I'm thinking of working my way up from the very bottom, step by step. Sounds like it could be a good time. The next moment, Seok-Ho moves first to attack. His left fist cuts through the air like a gust, heading straight for Seok-Ho's face. However, Seok-Ho doesn't take this attack seriously. He simply twists his body slightly and easily dodges Seok-Ho's attack. At this moment, Seok-Ho realizes something's wrong. He realizes Seok-Ho is definitely not an ordinary opponent. That incredible reaction speed says it all. Seok-Ho tests Seok-Ho's strength again, just as he expected. No matter how Seok-Ho attacks, Seok-Ho can easily dodge. Even I'm seeing Seok-Ho get dominated for the first time. His attacks aren't having any effect. This makes Seok-Ho even more excited. Your skills aren't bad. Red badge level is definitely way stronger than those yellow badges. Seok-Ho's face shows a calm expression. Likewise, your punching speed is pretty good too. As soon as he finishes speaking, a heavy punch lands on Seok-Ho's cheek. Seok-Ho's strike speed was like lightning, giving Seok-Ho no time to react. By the time Seok-Ho reacts, it's already too late. Seok-Ho's fist rained down on him like a relentless gale. Seok-Ho rapidly throws 3 punches in 10 seconds. Each of these 3 punches solidly hits Seok-Ho. Just as Seok-Ho counterattacks, the class president quickly creates distance, and these few probing moves are all within Seok-Ho's expectations. Because Seok-Ho himself is a fighting genius, he can tell this light footwork is definitely professionally trained. And Song-Tai's punches extend perfectly straight. No matter from what angle he look, his fists never bend. From just these few moves, Seok-Ho can tell this guy has studied Eastern boxing. Who would have thought this school still keeps producing talented fighters? Just like before, this type of boxing is commonly seen in boxing arenas. Song-Tai's lackeys keep bragging. That's not something you can get to with just casual training. Bond slowly reveals Song-Tai's record. He's the elite of our grade. 20 matches, 17 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. Song-Tai participated in boxing competitions at just 15 years old and won the championship. So they think someone who fights like me could never beat Song-Tai. Seok-Ho is very frustrated. With his old body, he could knock out Song-Tai in 2 punches max. Seeing my annoyed expression, Song-Tai takes a deep breath. Then he laughs loudly. Looking at your face, you must be terrified. Although Song-Tai is a bully, he has his pride. So Song-Tai makes a decision. He'll only use his left hand to fight Seok-Ho. This insulting behavior infuriates Seok-Ho. Are you looking down on me? Before Seok-Ho finishes speaking, Sung's figure is already at his face. Just a simple jab produces a sharp whoosh. The power of this punch is evident from his left leg alone. He's using full force. Seok-Ho has only one thought, fast. Although he was careless just now, this is definitely not a speed ordinary people can achieve. In desperation, Seok-Ho quickly throws a punch to intercept Song-Tai. That move is utterly weak. Song-Tai spins and strikes my abdomen again with his left hand. Song-Tai's fighting talent is truly high. After landing a punch, he quickly creates distance. Seeing his opponent's old strength exhausted and new strength not yet gathered, he immediately rushes in with another punch. Getting hit repeatedly makes Seok-Ho realize that if he keeps taking passive beatings like this, he'll definitely lose. Even Song-Tai, as his opponent, keeps reminding him, pull yourself together, stay conscious, that way it'll be interesting. Since Seok-Ho remains in a defensive state, Song-Tai seizes the opportunity. His fist is like a whip, landing 5 strikes instantly. This scene drives the students crazy. The class president's movements are too fast. Can't even see his hands and feet clearly. This transfer student is in trouble today. For a moment, Seok-Ho is actually on the defensive, constantly suppressed by Song-Tai. I watched those people cheering for Song-Tai and wondered if I should cheer for Seok-Ho too. But if Seok-Ho loses, that works for me too. It's the perfect excuse to get out of the contract. If Seok-Ho knew my thoughts, he'd be furious. I'm fighting for you, and not only do you not cheer for me, you're actually hoping I lose. At this moment, I'm floating in the air, watching Seok-Ho's miserable state, praying in my heart, just give up, please. While Seok-Ho and Song-Tai are grappling, I notice something. Seok-Ho keeps smiling. Even though he's constantly getting hit, his smile never disappears. Even Song-Tai is confused. He can't quite understand this smile. Could it be the smile of encountering a worthy opponent? Thinking this, Song-Tai suddenly pulls back. Then another straight punch comes roaring in. He really wants to ask me why I'm smiling, but now's not the time. But unexpectedly, Song-Tai's punch misses Seok-Ho, creating a perfect counterattack opportunity. Seok-Ho's low voice speaks. Finally, caught your opening. I just need to dodge your attacks. However, Song-Tai easily dodges Seok-Ho's attack. Seok-Ho still doesn't give up. If that won't work, then I'll try somewhere else. Seok-Ho crushes down on Song-Tai's toes with all his weight. The timing of the stomp is perfect. Song-Tai's balance falters, and he's about to fall. And Seok-Ho seizes the opportunity to leap up, ready to deal fatal damage. Song-Tai thinks to himself in alarm. No matter what attacks come, I must protect my head, or I'm done for. Seok-Ho silently approves of Song-Tai's quick reflex. Nice reaction. To bad minds just as good. Since your head is blocked, I'll stomp somewhere else. In a split second, they both make the right decisions. Seok-Ho stomps on Song-Tai's ankle, because the ankle is a vulnerable part of the human body. A heavy blow there will definitely cause serious pain. After landing this hit, Seok-Ho follows with repeated strikes on his ankle. You were bouncing around like a little rabbit, weren't you? Try jumping again if you dare. Just as I press my advantage, a kick smashes into me from behind. It's Song-Tai who just flipped and kicked my back. At this moment, he's no longer as confident as before. Instead, he's limping badly. But Seok-Ho is relentless now, continuously attacking his weak points. He must keep pressing the advantage. Seok-Ho absolutely won't give him a chance to breathe, or he'll be the one who loses. Everyone in the room starts shouting. This transfer student is way too dirty. Meanwhile, the man in the floral shirt, running the bets, calmly analyzes the current situation. He's already seen through Seok-Ho's fighting style, starting from the feet. This is the standard method for dealing with boxers, but he can't figure it out. Why does this kid who looks like a loser know his way around a fight so well? It's exactly like watching Seok-Ho back in the day. At the same time, their battle reaches a fever pitch. Seok-Ho's attacks come in relentless waves, swamping Song-Tai's defenses. The watching students are shocked. Could this transfer student actually turn the tables? Listening to the chatter around him, Song-Tai becomes extremely irritated. He's the grade's strongest fighter. How could Song-Tai possibly lose to an unknown freshman? In anger, Song-Tai forcefully breaks through the attacks and lands a backhand punch on Seok-Ho's face. Seok-Ho's body keeps retreating backwards. That punch was as fast as ever, leaving him unable to react in time. But Seok-Ho smiles because Song-Tai used his other hand. Before the match began, Song-Tai said he'd only use one hand to duel with Seok-Ho. But now, forced by Seok-Ho's rain of attacks, he has no choice but to use his other hand. He's privately conceded that Seok-Ho is the stronger fighter. Without using his right hand, he's done for. The next second, Song-Tai rapidly closes in on Seok-Ho. A heavy punch lands on his face. This heavy punch is incredibly powerful, almost caving Seok-Ho's face in. Just as Seok-Ho's body slowly falls to the ground, Seok-Ho's foot stomps down hard, steadying his body. Everyone present didn't expect that Seok-Ho actually took that punch with his face. Seeing this, Sung-tae wants to strike again, but his foot sends searing pain through his body. At the same time, a large hand firmly grips Sung-tae's wrist. Seok-Ho's cold laugh comes through. I bet your foot can't move now. Then it's my turn to counterattack. With that, Seok-Ho spins into a heavy counterpunching stance. Sung-tae realizes with alarm that today he might have picked the wrong opponent. Seok-Ho's plastered arm now looks like a heavy hammer in Sung-tae's eyes. Under everyone's astonished gaze, Seok-Ho's fist slams heavily into Sung-tae's cheek. Like a human cannonball, Sung-tae flies across the room. Seok-Ho controlling my body successfully defeats the grade's strongest fighter, Sung-tae. His record at Demon School, 2 fights, 2 wins, and he successfully claims the title of class president of freshman class 4. Bunch in high school, where everything is decided by fists, is terrible. But freshman class 4 is different. This class's rules prohibit school violence. From now on, hierarchy will no longer be decided by fists. In this class, everyone is equal except me. At this moment, the former 2nd and 3rd rank fighters are lifting me up on a chair. I'm a bit confused. This doesn't seem like the result I imagined. At this moment, Bond kicks both of them. You lifted the boss's seat too high. What are you doing? The two are clearly dissatisfied. We don't have class distinctions anymore. Why are you hitting us? However, Bond says proudly, I'm the boss's #1 subordinate, so what if I hit you? But I remember Seok-Ho previously accepted him as a follower, not a subordinate. Bond doesn't care about that. He must stick close to someone this powerful. But this result isn't what I wanted at all. I don't want to become this class's boss. Seok-Ho explains to me, to change the school, you need to use power to re-establish the class order. I don't understand. To destroy Demon School, just make it return to normal. Seok-Ho sighs deeply. Can change happen just by talking? Or can you change the school just by making an announcement? So, Seok-Ho believes there's only one way to change the school. Stand at the top of the school to change its order. This shocks me. Seok-Ho's idea is absolutely insane. At this moment, Seok-Ho grabs my hair. He says school matters will be handled by him. Now it's my turn to help him. Moments later, we arrive at Bongjan Hospital. I come to the intensive care unit again. Seok-Ho's body still lies in this hospital bed. He's in this state because he was framed. I ask him if he has any enemies at school. He thinks carefully. If you're talking about people who resent me, there are quite a few because I fought many times. Like Quack Shil Yang in 3rd grade and Yang Jik in 2nd grade. These two are just the well-known ones. If you count the unknown ones, there are tons more. Thinking about this, Seok-Ho laughs. It's too hard to find someone at this school who doesn't have issues with me. I've made too many enemies. I slowly pull open the drawer. I want to see if Seok-Ho left any clues before the accident. Soon, I find a damaged phone. After turning it on, I check Seok-Ho's social media account. Seok-Ho has posted quite a bit with a group of followers behind him. A few posts read, we may not have been born together, but we're family. From the photos, I can see Seok-Ho treated his followers like family. I can't keep looking. The captions are way too melodramatic, Seok-Ho tells me. This so-called family is the Demon King family. We laughed together, fought together, bled together. Seok-Ho still misses those times. For him, this must be what friendship means. Suddenly, a hand snatches the phone from me. I turn around and see a beautiful woman with long hair. The second I see her, I feel heat rush to my cheeks. I've seen this girl before. I ran into her at the school gate. The girl asks, why do you have my brother's phone? This surprises me. Could this girl be Seok-Ho's sister? I turn to glance at Seok-Ho behind me, but he's already gone. The girl steps forward right in front of me. She asks, what are you doing here? And who exactly are you? I stammer, I came here because I received a request. Slap. Without warning, a loud slap strikes my cheek. I'm stunned. What's going on here? Then, the girl picks up her bag and hits me repeatedly. I never expected such a beautiful girl to be this violent. In just 2 seconds, I'm kicked out of the hospital room. The girl says to me, tell Kim Tong I'll get the money together this week. Make sure he doesn't come around causing trouble again. Then bang, she slams the door shut. I'm speechless. Who the hell is Kim Tong? I don't even know him. Just as I finish speaking, a man's voice sounds from behind me. The man has a massive build, rippling with muscle. He says he's Kim Tong, the one I've been asking about, and demands to know what I want. Seeing my silence, he walks straight into Seok-Ho's hospital room. This Kim Tong guy looks vaguely familiar. He seems to be one of Seok-Ho's former underlings. I quietly move to the doorway to check what's happening inside. Since this Tong guy came to visit, he must be quite close to Seok-Ho. Inside the room, Ma Sukin has just finished tucking in the blanket for Seok-Ho. Sukin has been taking care of her brother for so long, wondering when he'll finally wake up. Just then, she hears the door creak open. She turns and sees Kim Tong, the person she despises most, standing there. Sukin's face darkens. What are you doing here? Tong thinks she's being rude. You should call me Mr. Tong, he says, but Sukin ignores him completely. Tong curses under his breath. He doesn't understand why he, the creditor, always gets hated by these people who owe him money. Sukyun works at a convenience store, and because they didn't pay her on time, she couldn't make her payment. But Sukyun never expected that just 2 days late would result in a 15% fee. Tong responds that since time equals money, 15% interest is required. Seokhyun thinks he's gone too far. He claimed to be her brother's friend, but now he's acting like a loan shark. Hearing the word friend, Tong glances at Seok-Ho lying in the hospital bed. Then he snorts hard through his nose. The next moment, he spits a thick glob right onto Seok-Ho's face. Watching this, I'm completely stunned. Even Seokhyun didn't expect such an insulting act. Tong never considered Seok-Ho a friend. Not just him. None of them ever did. In his eyes, Seok-Ho was nothing but a fool who could fight. Back then, whenever they had trouble, they just had to say the word, and Seok-Ho would solve it for them. He wasn't afraid of anyone, not even death. There was no better fighter. Hearing this, Seokhyun trembles with rage. Then she swings her hand, ready to slap him. Unfortunately, her fighting ability means nothing against Tong. In Tong's eyes, Seok-Ho is no better than trash because she owes money and won't pay. So for trash that won't pay their debts, Tong has only one way of dealing with them. That is, using simple violence to make them pay up. Just as Tong is about to strike, a doctor opens the door. The doctor hurriedly asks how the patient's condition is. He and his nurse immediately begin examining Seok-Ho's body, completely ignoring the argument behind them. With the doctor and nurse interrupting, Tong loses interest. He throws a final warning over his shoulder on his way out. I'll let it slide today, but you will pay on time. After examining Seok-Ho, the doctor finds he is fine, but that student clearly said there was an emergency. Hearing that student, Seok-Ho immediately thinks of me. At this moment, I'm watching Tong as he leaves the room. Seok-Ho, is this what you call family? To me, he's nothing but scum. I sense something wrong behind me and glance back, but what I see is Seok-Ho, furious beyond measure. He tells me to shut up. He doesn't want to hear a single word right now. In the afternoon, we return to Bunshin High School. I find Bon and ask him about Kim Tong. I want Bon to tell me what kind of person he is, what his strength level is, and what backing he has. What I don't expect is Bon's inner excitement. Has the boss already seen that far ahead? Just 1 year ago, Seok-Ho still controlled the school. After his accident, the Demon King family split into multiple factions that now rule the school together. The largest faction is Under-Over, and Kim Tong is the leader of Under-Over. As for his strength, Bon isn't sure, but he's definitely powerful. After sharing this intel, he salutes me. I think Tong is very likely the one who framed Seok-Ho. It seems the family Seok-Ho spoke of has no good people in it. Just then, we hear a commotion from the room behind us. Curious, Bon and I move closer to look inside. We see a group of people ganging up on Jang Sung-Tai. Sung-Tai struggles to his feet, his injured leg making it impossible to fight properly. So he puts on a smile. Why are you guys following me? Standing before him are members of Under-Over. Behind him is a man in a floral shirt. You should pay back what you borrowed on time. With interest, at 50,001 comes to 3 million. Turns out, during Seok-Ho and Sung-Tai's previous fight, Sung-Tai bet 50,001 on himself to win. Sung-Tai freezes. 50,000 to 3 million. That's a 600-fold increase. So he smiles and says he has no money. Park Myung-soo knows he won't actually get this money. After all, the guy's broke. So he invites Sung-Tai to become his underling. He'll pay him a monthly wage to repay the debt. Hearing Myung-soo say this, Sung-Tai bursts out laughing. This is the funniest joke he's heard all day. Join Under-Over. You must be joking. As if I'd become one of you dogs. Hearing this, all the Under-Over members fly into a rage. One immediately steps forward. You've got a big mouth, punk. But Sung-Tai easily dodges his attack. Then he bends his legs, wings up his left fist, and slams it hard into the guy's stomach. The force of the punch knocks him unconscious. Sung-Tai doesn't want to waste words with these goons. He charges straight for their leader. He knows to take down the boss first. Against this fat guy, Sung-Tai uses his full strength. Sung-Tai twists his waist and strikes Myung-soo's nose at extreme speed, but the result disappoints Sung-Tai. Because of his leg injury, he can't unleash his peak power. Plus, the guy's large build means this punch barely hurts him. Myung-soo casually lashes out with a kick, taking Sung-Tai down with pure force. With a thud, Sung-Tai crashes heavily to the ground. With a dull boom, just as he's about to get up and counter, one of Myung-soo's men kicks him in the face. Then four people begin beating and kicking Sung-Tai. As for Sung-Tai getting beaten, I can't help him. Thinking back on everything he's done to me, this guy really deserves a beating. So I don't plan to let Seok-Ho possess me to help him out of this mess. On the other side, Sung-Tai, being beaten by 4 people, is already bleeding. Myung-soo scowls. I offer you a place, and you repay me with violence. You've made me look bad. Though beaten, Sung-Tai's spirit is unyielding. With a good leg, you'd be down already. Myung-soo immediately catches the keyword leg. Myung-soo was at the fight, so he knows Sung-Tai injured his left leg, so he orders his men to pin Sung-Tai down firmly. Then Myung-soo's big hand grabs Sung-Tai's foot tightly. To save himself trouble later, Myung-soo decides to cripple Sung-Tai's leg today. After all, when dealing with enemies, you must eliminate them completely to avoid future trouble. Just as Myung-soo is about to act, someone steps into the room. Everyone starts and turns toward the sound. To everyone's shock, the person who stepped forward is Bon. You fat bastard, you dare mess with Class 4. You've got a death wish. Standing behind him, I'm completely dumbfounded. What is Bon thinking? How could he possibly beat them alone? That entrance really had the aura of a powerful fighter. For a moment, everyone present is stunned. Bon says boldly, you dare mess with my boss's people. You've got no idea what you're in for. I nearly jump out of my skin. Did you have to drag me into it just to show off? But Bon's bravado lasts barely 3 seconds. His entire body gets kicked flying. The Under-Over members laugh. Looks like an idiot daring to act tough in front of us. Seeing this, I quickly turn to leave and find a teacher to help. Just then, Bon suddenly calls out to me. This makes me shudder. He says he can easily take down these guys without my help. Just watch from the side. The moment he finishes speaking, Myung-soo's sharp gaze turns toward me. With just one look, his underlings understand. Quickly, one of them grabs my clothes, ready to beat me up. This shocks me greatly. Looks like I have no choice but to let Seok-Ho take control. Clang. This sound is metal hitting metal. That underling's head gets caught hard between the iron door and frame. The punk's eyes change as he looks at me, filled with terror, because I've already raised my fist, ready to strike. But his body is stuck in the door, unable to move, forced to take the hit. With a loud crash, the punk drops to his knees and loses consciousness. Bon sneers inwardly. Once the boss makes a move, you guys are finished. Who knew Seok-Ho's reaction was that fast? Taking down his opponent in just 1 second. At this moment, Seok-Ho's eyes are full of excitement. Another fight today. How thrilling. With a clatter, Seok-Ho pulls the iron door completely open. Seething over Tong's betrayal, He's been in a foul mood all day, and now needs to take it out on someone in this little room. Just then, some clueless punk charges at him alone. Seok-Ho twists his waist, and turns in one smooth motion, hammering his fist hard into the guy's face. After this punch, I faintly hear the sound of bones cracking. The guy flies back several meters and crashes into other underlings, showing just how powerful that punch was. From their perspective, Seok-Ho's presence is overwhelming. Even with his right hand fractured, his fighting ability hasn't diminished. Seok-Ho crooks his finger, gesturing for them to come at him. Today, Seok-Ho will unleash all his frustration on these people. But Myung-soo remains unfazed. He's a seasoned thug after all. What's some transfer student to him? Besides, it's 4-on-1 at worst. The odds are on our side. Hearing Myung-soo say this, Sunk immediately gets up from the ground. Now it's 4 against 2. Even Bon runs over. Now it's 4 against 3. Though Sunk thinks Bon's fighting ability only counts as half a person, so it's 4 against 2.5. As for how many opponents or allies there are, Seok-Ho doesn't care. Right now, he just wants to go wild. So Seok-Ho shouts at Myung-soo's group, "Let's fight, you bastard goons." Seok-Ho's eyes are nearly manic now. This look frightens Myung-soo, but several punks don't realize how terrifying the situation is and foolishly charge forward. Myung-soo stops them in time. "Enough, don't fight him." He then turns and leaves with his men. Before leaving, he gives the 3 of us a meaningful look. He's memorized all 3 of our faces. For him, a fight can happen anytime, but it needs a crowd so he can take bets. 10 minutes later, we gather in a corner of the field to discuss. Through Song-tae, I learned that Myung-soo manages all the school's gambling operations. But if he's just managing it, shouldn't there be a middleman's cut? But gambling is just one thing they do, they're real businesses. Loan sharking. They create legitimate-looking yes, then secretly steal their parents' seals to stamp the contracts. Taking advantage of students' lack of financial understanding, they lure them into borrowing money, then pile on massive interest. Over time, the interest becomes many times the principal. There was a time when dozens of students quietly transferred because they couldn't repay the loans. Even their entire families moved away from the city. What's truly despicable is that when they can't repay, the real nightmare begins. Using debt as leverage, they extort money, even ordering theft and various dirty jobs. They forcibly make people join under. Currently, this organization has gathered over 100 members and is very powerful, and they're a massive criminal organization. Their leader's life motto is, "Money isn't everything, but without money, you have nothing." As Kim Tong says this, a trembling student crouches at his feet. Seeing him like that, he kicks the student flying. Then he pulls out the so-called IOU. "See this. You borrowed 300,001. Now the debt is 2.1 million. The person says quietly, "I have no money left. I already paid back the 300,001. What's left is all interest." Tong sneers. He won't waste words on this person, but just letting him off doesn't sit right. He needs to make a point. So Kim Tong tells him to hold out his hand. He'll use this burning cigarette but to teach this guy a lesson. Pay your debts on time. If he has no money, he'll grant him slave status to repay the debt. If he refuses, what awaits him is hellish torture. "Now get out," he says, "and be here before school." Every day with a clang, he puts the IOU in the safe. Inside are 2 thick stacks of yes. With a bang, he slams the safe door shut. Moments later, Myung-soo tells Tong what happened today. Tong looks displeased. "You took 5 people out today and came back empty-handed." Myung-soo says solving the problem isn't hard. Just pay him a little money and he'll get it done right away. Smack. A sharp slap lands across his face. "You have the nerve to overcharge me. You're dead." Myung-soo's eyes fill with shock, but he doesn't dare react, only nods repeatedly, promising to get things done. As for how, that's entirely up to him. He can mobilize anyone in the organization. The message is simple. Make them understand the true terror of money. Meanwhile, I arrive at a convenience store to buy some things. Seok-Ho is extremely angry now. You shouldn't have let them go. You should have beaten those guys to a pulp, then gone to challenge Tong. But I don't care about this at all. What does it have to do with me? I didn't borrow money from them. Besides, this isn't something I should get involved in. This infuriates Seok-Ho. "You're such a coward, so pathetic. I've never seen anyone as spineless as you." I ignore Seok-Ho. "You use my body to fight, and I'm the one who gets hurt. My hand still hurts." To avoid arguing with Seok-Ho, I go to the counter to check out, but I didn't expect the person checking me out to be Sikyeon, working part-time here. This surprises me. What a coincidence. "What are you doing here?" Sikyeon looks exasperated. "You're the one who came into the store." Then she asks if I have time to talk. 3 minutes later, I follow Sikyeon to the back of the store. I'm struck by how cool she looked. She casually glances at me. "Just drink your cola. It's on me." Stop staring at me. Looking at Sikyeon, I can't see any resemblance to Seok-Ho. Actually, Sikyeon is quite cute, exactly my type. Sikyeon brings up the slap at the hospital last time. I tell her I'm used to it, and given how easy it was to misunderstand the situation, I don't hold it against her. Since the first day of school, I've been getting beaten up. Everyone who sees me comes to hit me, but Sikyeon's next words stun me. "I didn't say I was apologizing, but hitting you was a bit wrong." "Did it hurt, kid?" I freeze. "You're calling me kid. We're about the same age." Just from those 2 sentences, I can tell she's definitely Seok-Ho's sister. She's as rude as he is. Sikyeon asks why I appeared in her brother's hospital room. I look into her eyes seriously. "Do you really think your brother ended up like that because of an accident?" Hearing this, Sikyeon's eyes widen. "You mean there's something more to this?" Just then, a customer at the convenience store interrupts our conversation. As Sikyeon is leaving, I call out to her. "Actually, I have a question. Why did she borrow money from Kim Tong?" But I don't get an answer. She walks straight into the convenience store, and my confusion is answered by Seok-Ho behind me. She borrowed money from Tong because of me. With Seok-Ho in a coma, someone has to pay those massive treatment and hospital fees. To scrape together the money, Sikyeon can only take part-time jobs. She's actually exhausted from work every day, but she never complains. All these various medical expenses add up to over 1 million won per month. So, Saek-yeon works 4 jobs a day just to scrape together enough for the medical bills. And where she sleeps is just a small bed in Seok-Ho's hospital room. It dawns on me what a rough time Seok-Ho's sister must be having. As her brother, Seok-Ho not only can protect her, but makes his sister work as his caregiver. I think Saek-yeon is really amazing. She's my age, but doing much harder work than me. But my words make Seok-Ho suspicious. What's with that expression? Are you feeling sorry for my sister? Don't tell me you like her. The next moment, he grabs my cheek. Know your place. Someone like you would never be good enough for her. I blush. He saw right through me, but I can't admit it. If I do, won't I get beaten? So I make a decision. Your sister is working so hard to care for you. Can't you do something for her? Seok-Ho smirks. I've been waiting for you to say that. This puzzles me. What's he planning now? Half an hour later, Seok-Ho brings me to a cabinet. Inside this cabinet are all kinds of designer luxury goods and gold bracelets. If we sell everything in this cabinet, we should be able to pay off the money. But in Seok-Ho's current situation, he can't do anything. Then, a little sheepishly, Seok-Ho asks me to thank his sister for everything she's done. Please, he adds quietly. I'm stunned. The invincible Seok-Ho just said, please, but I'm not in the mood to joke around. Figuring out what to do with all this stuff comes first. Fortunately, Seok-Ho had his glory days and left behind quite a fortune. Just as we're about to go to the second-hand market to sell the luxury goods, a sudden boss from behind catches my attention. I turn and see it's Bon and Sung-tae, but I don't understand why they're running so urgently through the hallway. Just as I'm about to greet them, they rush right past me. They both turn at the same time and tell me to run. There are lots of people behind us who want to beat us up. I look behind again, and my eyes widen at the scene. A group of people is running toward me, each one radiating murderous intent. I take off running. What the hell is happening? Why are they after us? Sung-tae is fuming. They've placed bounties on all 3 of us. On the platform, Bon is also furious because the 3 of us are being specifically targeted with very high bounties. The platform is running an event called Catch the Golden Goblins with a combined bounty of 2 million won. Bon has a bounty of 500,000,001 and is named the Broccoli Goblin. Sung-tae has a bounty of 1 million won and is named the Slit Eye Goblin. And I have the highest bounty, at 1,500,000 won, named the One-Armed Goblin. The event title is Find the Hidden Golden Goblins in the School, Catch Them, and Claim Your Reward. This is all Mang-su's doing. Now, all he has to do is wait for us to get caught, without lifting a finger. Tong is very satisfied with this event. It would take no effort to round up those 3. At the same time, the 3 of us are completely surrounded. Everyone on both sides of the hallway is here to catch us. I think to myself, this is bad. How can 3 of us beat 30 people? So I let Seok-Ho take control. Only he can handle the situation. Seok-Ho is excited. The humiliation from yesterday, he'll pay it all back to these people today. At this, Bon panics. Even Sung-tae thinks they're no match. Seok-Ho is the opposite. He grabs both of them. Stay calm, Seok-Ho says to them both. I've got this. Whether we hate each other or not, right now we're all in the same boat. If you don't want to die, trust me and follow me. So Seok-Ho's solution. 3 people taking on 30. Meanwhile, my Yong-su receive information that the 3 have been found. But the message from his underlings makes him shake with anger. Because the 30 guys he sent failed to take them down, he have to send more. Turns out those underlings swarmed us the moment they found us. But they never expected one person to take down several men with just a few punches. This shocks the underling greatly. His punches land with immense power, and they move too fast to see. Those he strikes can't even tell how the blow landed. His fists are as fast as bullets. The moment he raises his fist, your head gets hit hard. With another crash, another man goes flying. This makes several people hesitate and stop in their tracks, but some clever ones plan to attack from behind. After all, eyes are in the front, and can't see the back. But just then, a large hand grabs one person's hoodie string. Seok-Ho yanks hard, and the hood wraps around the guy's head. Then he uses his body to push into another underling behind him, and Seok-Ho charges at the enemy in front. With a bang, a heavy punch slams into that person's face, but it's not over. Seok-Ho's eyes turn back to those 2 from before. At the same time, those 2 are fumbling around helplessly, and Seok-Ho takes advantage, kicking both of them in the head. All this happens in just 2 seconds, so normal people can't react at all. In moments, Seok-Ho effortlessly takes down 3 opponents. This shocks Sung-tae nearby. He actually used the guy in the hoodie as an obstacle, creating a one-on-one space, such a complex fighting method. And he made the decision in an instant. Sung-tae thinks this definitely isn't coincidence. It's at this moment he comes to a private admission, I am strong, and he'd been beaten fair and square. On the other side, Bon is struggling. Bon is surrounded by 2 people, and has already taken over a dozen punches. Though Bon keeps getting beaten passively, he activates his passive skill, taking hits. Bon mutters, even though I only have a measly 500,001 bounty, don't underestimate me. The next moment, Bon grabs both people in front of him. He shouts, boss, now, come finish these 2 off. Bang, bang. 2 fists come flying, and strike both of them. Who would have thought the 3 of us, once enemies, are now fighting together as allies? And those 2, hit by our heavy punches, both fall to the ground. Sung-tae laughs. Your defense is pretty good. You're like our team's tank. Bon scowls. Who are you to order me around? I outrank you. I'm the boss's man. Seok-Ho tells them both to be quiet. Focus. When you catch an opponent, smash their face. In just 2.5 minutes, the 3 take down 20 opponents. At this moment, floating in midair, I'm shocked. If I were fighting, 20 people would have beaten me to a pulp. Just when I think it's almost over, I hear a commotion nearby. The entire hallway is in an uproar. Every eye gleams. They're staring at a walking paycheck. This stuns both Bon and Sung-tae. We just dealt with 20, and now there are so many more we can't even count them. It's not that they can't win, they're just worried about running out of stamina and getting overwhelmed by the mob. Sung Tai narrows his eyes and spots two familiar faces, the second and third strongest in class. But right now, they have no dignity as strong fighters. Their eyes show only greed for money. Your bounties have doubled, you know. Turns out, 10 minutes ago, Myung-soo posted an urgent notice. The bounties have been doubled. The total prize money has reached 6 million won. At this moment, Tong looks at the posted bounty and chuckles. Some things in this world money can't solve, or so they say. But that's not true. Tong believes if he encounters such a situation, it only means one thing. He hasn't offered enough money. Seok-Ho trembles with rage. Kim Tong is despicable. I made a mistake taking him as my underling. Looking up, I see the hallway swarming with people. The sight sends chills down my spine. Bond feels overwhelmed. Even with good defense, he can't handle all these people. He decides to retreat, and I'm searching everywhere in midair for an escape route. After all, Seok-Ho is using my body. If it gets crippled, I'm really screwed. In just 2.5 seconds, I find an escape route. I immediately call out to Seok-Ho and tell him to look behind. Behind Seok-Ho is a fire hose. With a bang, Seok-Ho smashes the window. Seok-Ho's expression is ecstatic. Who knew we'd escape death today? How thrilling. Those chasing them are furious. Their prize just escaped right before their eyes. The three of us used the fire hose to slide down from the building. Sung Tai and Bon had never escaped like this before. Soon, the three of us safely reached the ground. After that wild escape, the three of us find a spot and catch our breath. That fight was exhausting, and everything happened so fast, we had no time to think. But because of this, those two are completely won over. Boss is amazing. You jumped us down from the 4th floor. I tell them to cut the flattery. I want to ask, did all 20 people chasing us owe Tong money? Sung Tai nods. Exactly. That's how Tong builds his empire. No money. Then you pay with your body. Hearing Sung Tai's words, my eyes widen. I suddenly remember something. With that, I immediately rush to the hospital. No matter how the two behind me call out, I don't respond during this time. I find a pawn shop. So I go in and quickly exchange the luxury goods for one. Have you lost your mind? Seok-Ho glares displeased. I spent ages putting this together, and you sold it 4 pennies. How is that going to cover my treatments? Seok-Ho is completely puzzled by my actions. What's with you? You've been running around like a puppy that needs to poop. Right now, my expression turns deadly serious. I tell Seok-Ho there's this uneasy feeling gnawing at me, and the source of this unease, Ma Sikyeon. Sung Tai's casual remark earlier triggered something in my mind. If I don't get there fast, Sikyeon could very well be kidnapped by Kim Tong. Meanwhile, Sikyeon rides her motorcycle to a residential complex. The complex is run down, and there's no elevator. It irritates Sikyeon. Looks like she'll have to climb the stairs. Soon, she makes her way up to the 4th floor. She knocks on the door of apartment 401. Following her usual routine, she places the delivery at the door and snaps a photo. Just then, sharp cursing erupts from inside. A girl slowly emerges from the doorway, claiming Seok-Yeon delivered to the wrong address. Sikyeon is confused. She has double-checked the address. It's definitely correct. Didn't you order the half-price drinks? She asks. Hearing Sakyeon's pushback, the girl clearly gets annoyed. Though angry inside, Sakyeon doesn't want to argue. No point making things worse. So she shows the girl the order, proving she delivered exactly as instructed. If there's still any confusion, she can contact the shop to sort it out. The girl glances at the delivery in Sukyeon's hands. The next moment, smack. She slaps the food right onto the ground. Then the girl turns to go back inside, leaving the mess for Sikyeon. It'll come out of your paycheck anyway. I'm leaving a bad review. Sikyeon snaps. Wait right there. How can you be so unreasonable? She has no idea the girl. Behind the door, waiting for her to walk right into the trap. The moment Sikyeon pushes the door open, the scene inside shocks her to the core. Multiple hands lunge at her. So many, so fast, Sikyeon has no time to react. Her arms are seized, then more hands grab her collar. In just 2 seconds, Sikyeon is dragged into the room. Bang. The door slams shut. It's as if nothing ever happened. Hauled inside, Sikyeon is thrown hard onto the floor. A heavy footstep closes in on her. The chicken was never what we wanted. What we wanted was you, Seok-Ho's sister, Sikyeon. Sikyeon's mind is still reeling. Who are you? What do you want from me? The next moment, the girl holds up a phone on video call right in front of Sikyeon. On the screen appears Kim Tong. He tells Sikyeon to pay up and fast. Tong's expression drips with disgust. He hates customers who don't pay on time. Meanwhile, I finally arrive at Bunkin Hospital. I throw open the door, but the scene inside makes my eyes go wide. Apart from Seok-Ho lying in the hospital bed, there's no one else in the room. So I sit down to wait. Maybe Seok-Yeon has just stepped out for a bit. The impatient Seok-Ho beside me urges me to keep going. Right now, Seok-Ho's getting anxious too. He wants to know what this bad feeling I mentioned is all about. Actually, something Sung Tai said earlier stuck with me. If you can't pay the debt with money, you pay with your body. Sung Tai said that's Kim Tong's standard practice. Anyone who can't repay him, man or woman, gets the same treatment. If they're men, they become like hunting dogs, waiting to be ordered around. I lock eyes with Seok-Ho. Your sister borrowed money from him, and hasn't paid it back, right? She's a woman. What do you think happens to women? At those words, Seok-Ho's eyes blaze with pneumatic fury. If Kim Tong dares touch a single hair on his sister's head, he'll rip him apart. Back with Sikyeon, a camera is set up in the room where she's trapped. After adjusting the camera angle, they start filming Sikyeon. Tong tells Sikyeon to be obedient. After all, she can barely make ends meet with her part-time job, let alone repay a loan shark. If she cooperates, he might waive some of the interest. This kind of opportunity is rare, so she should treasure it. Though Sikyeon is innocent, she's not naive enough to miss what's about to happen. Tong gives a sinister smile. Do your best. How much interest I forgive depends on your performance. Ding, the call ends. In the room with Sikyeon are 3 unfamiliar women. The one in the middle is clearly in charge. The ringleader grins maliciously. Cameras rolling, starts stripping. Seok-Hyun's face shows hesitation. Then she slowly turns her head away. Her hands move to her zipper and pull it down. The three girls wear smug expressions. They've been jealous of Seok-Hyun for a while now. She's prettier than them. Plus, they find it boring. She's not even resisting. Takes away the fun of forcing her. Always so arrogant because her brother had her back. So annoying. Moments later, Seok-Hyun slowly removes her jacket. Seok-Hyun murmurs, "You have no idea how exhausting it is being Seok-Ho's sister." Just as the ringleader zones out for a second, Seok-Hyun's jacket comes completely off. But the instant it's off, Seok-Hyun whips it right into the girl's face. Then she charges forward and kicks the ringleader square in the face. Seok-Hyun truly is Seok-Ho's sister. She shares his combat talent. Right now, Seok-Hyun is fully in fighting mode. Though she looks slender, her core is packed with solid muscle. The next moment, a masked woman beside the ringleader slaps Seok-Hyun across the face. "Are you crazy? How dare you fight back?" But Seok-Hyun just glances at her coldly. "Are you serious? If you are going to hit someone in the face, use a fist, not your palm." In one swift motion, Seok-Hyun grabs the woman's arm. She twists her hips so hard her skirt whips into the air. With just one punch, she sends the masked girl flying. In a fight, you generate power from your hips and put your body weight behind the punch. You don't even understand that, and you dare challenge me. Realizing she can't beat Seok-Hyun, another girl snatches a beer bottle. "Damn it, you're as disgusting as your brother. Go to hell." But the girl never expects Seok-Hyun to dodge the attack. The beer bottle is swiftly kicked out of her hands. What follows is Seok-Hyun's foot slamming into the girl's jaw. Just from these two moves, it's clear Seok-Hyun's fighting talent rivals her brother's. Seok-Hyun's toes glide smoothly across the floor. In mere seconds, she's taken them all down. The movement is almost like dancing, elegant and fluid. Actually, the ringleader was right earlier. Seok-Hyun did benefit from her brother's influence. Thanks to Seok-Ho, the first thing she learned wasn't how to use chopsticks. The first thing she learned was how to fight. In fact, you could say Seok-Hyun is his personal student. Just as Seok-Hyun finishes off the three girls, there's a tap-tap-tap at the door. Click. The door opens, and a man's arm appears through the crack. Seok-Hyun knows this is enemy territory. Whoever's coming in means trouble. Sure enough, three men enter. One of them is massive and intimidating. Seok-Hyun's face darkens. She can easily take down three girls, but three muscular men. That's a different story. After all, she never formally trained in combat. After 10 minutes of fighting, the massive man sits on Seok-Hyun, pinning her to the ground. Her arms locked tight. He grins smugly. "You know why we're here, right?" Laughter echoes through the room. The man in black behind them is ready to hit record again. What comes next should be interesting, but unexpectedly, Seok-Hyun uses clever leverage to slip free from the man's grip, and punches him in the face. However, that punch barely phases him, but it awakens a twisted sense of conquest in him. Breaking this woman would be so satisfying. The next moment, the burly man's fist crashes into Seok-Hyun's face. This is how he deals with women who don't obey. Seok-Hyun's head throbs with pain. Even her teeth ache from the impact. The man's punch hits too hard. Seok-Hyun loses consciousness instantly. The man tells his lackey, "Lock the door. Get ready to film." He can't wait to get his hands on Seok-Hyun. Seok-Hyun is undeniably stunning. At any school, she'd be considered the prettiest girl there. Following orders, the lackey steps out to lock the door. But just as he's about to close it, he hears hurried footsteps. He turns his head, and his eyes go wide. That figure is too fast. All he sees is a leg. Then he's kicked brutally in the face. His reaction speed is no match for Seok-Ho's attack. Hearing the commotion behind him, the boss looks back, puzzled. Slap. A large hand grips the doorframe. The men show annoyed expressions. Who dares interrupt them now? This person must have a death wish. Seok-Ho clenches his fists in rage. An aura I've never seen since he possessed me erupts from Seok-Ho. Today, he says, cold menace dripping from each word. "I'm going to rip every last one of your insect heads off and feed you to hell." Turns out, 10 minutes ago, Seok-Ho and I searched several blocks but couldn't find Seok-Hyun. Fortunately, Seok-Ho had installed a tracker on his sister's phone, worried he wouldn't reach her in time if she got into danger. Now it's coming in handy. Seok-Ho did this because Seok-Hyun is his only family. I fall silent for a moment, thinking to myself, this guy must be pretty lonely too. Finally, after searching around, we find the tracker signal is in this complex. So from now on, Seok-Ho takes control of my body, and that's how we get to the kicking scene just now. Standing in the back, I curse out loud. "What's wrong with you? Why are you kicking everyone you see?" Little do I know, Seok-Ho's expression is terrifyingly dark. Seeing Seok-Ho like this, I scan the room. Then I see Seok-Hyun. There's blood at the corner of her mouth. Several people in the room are staring at us, and there's a camera set up. Even an idiot can figure out what they're doing. But what enrages me most is that a man is sitting on Seok-Hyun's legs. The group sees me and wonders what I'm doing here. Right now, Seok-Ho radiates pure combat power. Just from his stance, you can tell he's incredibly dangerous. Soon, someone notices my name tag. It reads, Jin-Ho. Since I'm a new student who successfully became the strongest first year, they all recognize me, but they'll never know one thing. The person standing before them is the urban demon king who once terrorized them all. Seeing someone here to interfere, the massive man slowly stands up. Though the person in front of them looks tough, they outnumber Seok-Ho, so naturally they're not afraid of him. The ringleader is especially furious. She never imagined Seok-Hyun has a boyfriend, something she's always wanted. The next moment, she suddenly grabs a fork from the table. She threatens Seok-Ho with a menacing look. "If you've got guts, come closer. Let's see if your fists are faster or my hands. Wanna watch your girlfriend?" Face gets slashed. Hearing this, Seok-Ho's body freezes, but his rage surges even more intensely. Seok-Ho's fists clench with a crackling sound, but just a moment later, he releases them. Then, without looking back, he turns to leave. Everyone is stunned by the scene. What's with this guy? Here one moment, gone the next. The ringleader looks incredibly pleased. What a pathetic coward. Can't believe Seok-Hyun ended up with someone like this. How satisfying. Seeing Seok-Ho about to leave, two men immediately move forward to chase him. But just as they stand up, they see Seok-Ho's figure returning. Everyone looks confused. Seok-Ho is holding a fire extinguisher. The next moment, without a word, he grabs the extinguisher and blasts it full force at the group. The massive cloud instantly blinds them. Their vision is blocked. They can't see what's ahead. Powder from the extinguisher fills the entire room. Within seconds, everything is obscured by a thick white veil. Just then, the man's leg seems to be kicked. His eyes fill with shock. In his final moment of consciousness, he sees a foot slowly approaching him. Everyone hears a dull thud, and that companion goes silent. The massive man hears another thud. Another companion falls silent. Panic rises in his chest. An enemy you can't see is the most terrifying. He must be careful. Finally, unable to stand this feeling, he roars, "If you've got guts, come out and fight me one-on-one." Meanwhile, Seok-Ho's footsteps move rapidly around the room. He responds to the man, one-on-one. "Sure, but that's something between humans. What you people have done doesn't make you human. You're animals." Noticing a shadow behind him, the fat man thinks he's caught Seok-Ho and throws a heavy punch, but when he sees the person's face clearly, he's completely shocked. He never expected to punch one of his own, and he'd put his full strength behind it. Meanwhile, Seok-Ho's footsteps move like teleportation. Soon, his figure bursts through the fog, appearing right in front of the man, sensing movement behind him. The man feels something's wrong. He turns his head and finds Seok-Ho's figure has suddenly appeared behind him. Seok-Ho's eyes are cold and merciless. "You people aren't even worthy of me fighting seriously." Then a bright red cylinder comes flying at him. This time, Seok-Ho is truly enraged, so his strikes are brutal. The fire extinguisher in Seok-Ho's hands crashes heavily into the man's face. In her unconscious state, Seok-Yeon has a dream. She dreams of a scene when her parents died. People at the funeral murmur among themselves, worried about the fate of such a young child, and with no relatives willing to take her in. She'll probably be sent to an orphanage. Hearing these words, young Seok-Yeon's heart takes a heavy blow. Fortunately, Seok-Ho held her hand then. Now they're orphans, so her brother is her only support. In the dream, two hands clasp tightly together, and in reality, two hands also hold each other. Seok-Yeon slowly wakes from her dream, mind still foggy, murmuring "Appa." Then she quickly sits up and looks around, realizing this is Seok-Ho's hospital room. Seok-Yeon looks around warily. "Where are the people who attacked me?" Seok-Ho tells her not to worry. He beat them up good. They won't dare bother her again. But more than those people, Seok-Ho is concerned about something else. He checks Seok-Yeon up and down, asking if she's hurt anywhere, if anything's broken or dislocated. Bang. A foot kicks Seok-Ho in the jaw. Seok-Yeon says angrily, "What the hell are you doing?" But Seok-Ho chooses this moment to switch with me, and I'm the one who gets kicked. Then I start explaining to Seok-Yeon. "I found you because of the tracking app. Don't get me wrong. Seok-Ho told me about it." Seok-Yeon presses on. "What's your relationship with my brother?" This puts me in a tough spot. It's way too complicated. Complicated to explain. But one thing I know for sure, we're closer than anyone else. Seok-Yeon is momentarily speechless, clearly not understanding what I just meant. Seeing that she's physically alright, I get ready to leave. But just as I'm walking away, she grabs the hem of my shirt. I'm puzzled. Does she have something else to tell me? Right now, Seok-Yeon is trembling all over. "Please wait. Can you just stay like this?" Seeing her like this, I understand. It's the aftermath of being kidnapped. She's afraid to be alone. After a while, I find a blanket and cover her. Seok-Yeon falls into a deep sleep. Looking at Seok-Yeon lying there, I feel terrible. If we hadn't arrived in time today, Seok-Yeon would have faced horrific consequences. Hearing my words, Seok-Ho grinds his teeth in rage. Seok-Ho wants me to go back and find those people. A few punches weren't enough. We need to break their limbs. I tell Seok-Ho to stop. Doing that is pointless. But my words completely ignite Seok-Ho's fury. "Shut up, you coward. If you want to make sure this never happens again, you need to finish it properly. Don't you understand?" I interrupt Seok-Ho. "Everything you're thinking, I've already thought about. That's why I plan to solve this seriously. The people we dealt with today are just bottom feeders at the school. If you really want to resolve this, Seok-Ho, you need to take down the leaders of the Underover. We need to let Kim Tong know we're not to be messed with. If Seok-Ho has the guts, even if my body gets destroyed, I'll fight alongside him to the end." That evening, I arrange to meet the other two at a park. When Bon and Sung-Tai learn I want to have a showdown with Kim Tong, their faces show shock. Bon looks at me with admiration. Now that's our boss, but Sung-Tai is reluctant to join. I try to persuade him to come with me. After all, he also owes Kim Tong money. What's his plan for the future? Besides, running forever isn't a solution. Sooner or later, they'll catch him. Sung-Tai falls silent. He thinks what I said makes sense. Why not take this opportunity to clear all debts at once? Sung-Tai laughs and sits down beside us. "Who said anything about running? Let's do it. Time to shake things up at school. But I'll only go if we have a plan. Otherwise, count me out." To Sung-Tai, we look like a band of wounded soldiers. My hand is broken, and Sung-Tai's leg hasn't fully healed, so he's not at full strength. As for Bon, he's weak, good at taking hits, but lacking offensive power. If the three of us go to settle scores like this, we'll be overwhelmed by the waves of their people. After all, the Underover organization has hundreds of skilled fighters besides Kim Tong. Simply put, if we want to solve this problem, we need one-on-one fights. But there's no way Kim Tong would agree to that. At this moment, I slowly reach into my jacket. We don't need to fight everyone, because I have something that will force Kim Tong to agree to one-on-one fights. If Kim Tong doesn't agree, I'll expose everything about him. The next day, members of the Underover organization receive orders to assemble. The three guys who kidnapped Seok-Yeon yesterday get beaten up badly by Kim Tong. Useless idiots can't even handle one woman. Tong is furious beyond measure. Who's the bastard brazen enough to stir up trouble? Park Myung-soo tells Tong to calm down. Anger won't solve anything. But the next moment, Tong's large hand clamps tightly on Myung-soo's face. "President Park, What do you think is the lifeblood of our business? Do you know what idiotic thing the people you sent out did? The lifeblood of our business is reputation. Your little mouse could destroy the entire kingdom. My Yongsu is left speechless. After all, this mess is his fault. Just then, Tong's phone suddenly rings. Tong slowly answers. Who is this? What do you want? The voice on the phone chuckles. It's Jinhu. Forgotten me already, but I'm not calling to argue. I have something to discuss. I've prepared the principal and interest that Sakiyan and Sung Tai owe you. I've combined their debts. This is more than enough to cover it. I want to use it to put this all behind us. Tong listens to me calmly, his face showing no expression. Then he points the phone at his subordinates. Let's hear if my men agree. Then Tong speaks to the crowd below. Catch Jinhu. Bounty 5 million won. So I hear his subordinates roaring. Looks like this won't be as simple as I said. His subordinates go wild. 5 million won is serious money. With a bounty that high, even if Tong wanted to let us go, his men wouldn't back down. Tong grins arrogantly. You little bastard, run if you can. If we catch you, you're finished. I indicate I understand. If that's how it is, then let's fight. The next moment, the three of us suddenly appear at the organization's entrance. Everyone present is stunned. Are these three here to die? Even Tong is completely confused. I speak slowly. I knew you wouldn't let this go so easily. So here we are. Since there's bad blood between us, let's settle it with one-on-one fights. Tong almost laughs in disbelief. Are you out of your mind? Why would I ever agree to fight you one-on-one? A tidal wave of sound erupts through the club. Get Jinhu. He's worth 5 million? A massive crowd surges toward us. But just then, everyone's phones ping with a text message. They all receive the same video. Someone opens it and finds it's less than a minute long. In the video, a man's iron fist knocks out the enemy charging right at him. This video was recorded by Seok-Ho himself a year ago, just as a test. Everyone watching is confused. Isn't this the urban demon King Ma Seok-Ho? The video shows Seok-Ho going alone to rescue a captured Kim Tong, shouting, Kim Dong-hee, I'm here. This Kim Dong-hee is the current Kim Tong. Dong-hee is his real name. Tong's hands crack with tension. His subordinates absolutely cannot see this video content. Right now, Kim Dong-hee is on the edge of rage because he sees himself in the video tied up with rope. Seeing this, Seok-Ho laughs heartily. You look pretty pathetic. At this moment, I raise my hand high. Don't even think about deleting it from my phone. I have plenty of backup copies of this video. Tong completely loses it. You maniac, stop. Delete that video now. I chuckle. Seems like you really don't want people seeing this. What should we do? How about you agree to my terms? I say seriously, now am I qualified to challenge you one-on-one? Furious but helpless, Tong has no choice but to swallow his rage. His secret is in my hands. Then he tells Park Myung-soo to prepare. We accept the challenge. 30 minutes later, a simple clearing is made. Students from the school surround the area. They rush here the moment they heard about the duel. Sung Tai asks Bond if he knows what's in the video. Judging by Tong's expression, he seems terrified of it getting out. Unfortunately, he didn't get the answer he wanted from Bond. I speak slowly. My stake is 30,001 in the original video. You choose the format. If we win, both their debts are completely cleared. Tong sneers. You arrogant fool. You're truly ignorant. Click. Myung-soo opens his folding fan. Looks like Myung-soo will set the rules this time. He asks if we want to fight by the Yaksha rules. At this moment, Sung Tai slowly steps forward, his eyes narrow. Sure. Sung Tai's aura shows no fear whatsoever. From Sung Tai's eyes, Ming-soo can tell this must be his opponent. He chuckles. Starting with the second in commands. How entertaining. Sung Tai scoffs coldly. Since when did you become second in command? You're just a lackey. How dare you interfere? Send out your strongest subordinate to fight me. My Myung-soo isn't provoked by Sung Tai's taunts. Unfortunately, I am the strongest fighter here. Most underover members are leash dogs. He stands apart. Removing his glasses, Myung-soo's entire demeanor changes. His gaze becomes sharp. He joined this organization purely because his combat abilities were recruited. Sung Tai opens his eyes too. His hands crack as he clenches them. When did I ask about your identity, you fat pig? Sung Tai's eyes are full of killing intent. He's been putting up with this fat guy for too long. The next moment, Myung-soo moves. That bulky body carries an invisible pressure. The instant Myung-soo moves, Sung Tai swings his fist as well. The Bonshin High School Annihilation March, Round 1, officially begins.